Hi, I am Shauntel Murphy, a leadership speaker and executive coach. And a few years ago, when I first was starting out in the corporate world, I went for a job interview at this one organization. I got there a little bit early so I could look over my resume and be prepared for the questions that they might ask me during the interview. And then I noticed that I left the contact information at home. So I started to panic a little bit and I started to look at the signage so I could be guided to the right department. And a man approached me and he said, "Hey, good morning. How are you doing?" I said, "I'm doing pretty good, but I have a job interview today." And he said, "Well, congratulations." He was like, "What department will you be working in?" And I told him, and he said, "I'll walk you right over there." So we went on the elevator together, and very nice man started joking a little bit. And he said, "Just go ahead and claim it. You already have the job. Congratulations." So looking back, I actually did get the job. And when I started working at that company a couple of weeks later, we were having our onboarding experience. And one of the people that came into the orientation, it was the same guy who helped me out on the elevator. And he turned out to be the president of the company. So I was really surprised that that was the president who helped me out my first day. And a lot of the staff said that that is just him. That's how he is. He's very remarkable, very friendly, approachable, helpful, and kind. And not only did he present at the orientation, but he stayed and he had lunch with us. After the end of the course of our orientation, he would come in and make sure that we were okay and that we had everything that we needed so that by the time we hit the floor working at the organization, we felt really comfortable. We felt united with synergy and we really wanted to do our best just to impress everyone else there because the president, he had that feeling that he gave us. He was very remarkable and, like I said, very approachable. So while I was there, he actually started to come into the department. And it wasn't like he was doing his leadership rounds. He was actually coming and he would roll up his sleeves and he would help us with whatever we had going on. If we were backed up, he was right there. He would roll up his sleeves and he would say, "All hands on deck. And if you have some hands, they needed to be used." And that was the approach that he had. You could always hear him laughing throughout the hallways. You would always hear different people talking about the jokes that he was talking about for that day. And at the end of the week, he would write us all an email telling us about the key takeaways that he had from just working throughout that organization. It was 25 floors, and he would highlight different people from each level, from each unit, and he would give them that sense of camaraderie, highlighting what they've done for the week, the challenges that they endured. And we all looked forward to seeing him and being around him. And then one day, we just didn't see him anymore. It was a little bit eerie and creepy because we were so used to him coming around. And then we were notified by his family that he had been involved in an accident. And that took us by surprise because we just thought that he would be there as our leader forever. And when we found out that he wasn't coming back, we thought that we would have to be good stewards with his vision and with the accomplishments and with the plan that he had moving forward for us to implement that plan and for us to continue with that vision. And so when I talk about leaving your leadership legacy, this is what I'm talking about. Even though he's no longer still with us, that legacy is still there, thriving, alive in that organization. And that's the type of legacy that you want to leave behind. So, whether you're just getting started out in your career or whether you have led teams for years, you can always start right now. Right now is the time to leave your leadership legacy. It's never too early, it's never too late. Every moment that you lead, every decision that you make, or the decision that you don't make, that goes into your leadership legacy piggy bank. And honestly, you nor I, we're not able to leave forever, but the legacy that we create it will last forever. And the legacy, it encompasses your accomplishments, the vision that you do have for the organization, because it is your vision. And you want for your legacy to be a solid bridge that can be able to bridge the gap from today to be able to last the test of time, so that anybody can walk across that bridge and be anchored in the success that you were able to pave. A lot of leaders now, what they leave are snowflakes. And as you know, a snowflake, it melts. So when I say that leaders are leaving a snowflake legacy, that means that it's here today, gone tomorrow. Sometimes when individuals are retiring or they are leaving, when they have a goodbye party, it really is goodbye, because they want that leader to be out of the organization. The organization might have been toxic with that leader there. Individuals might have been burnt out or suffer from work fatigue, or they silently wanted to resign. So, with that snowflake legacy, here today, gone tomorrow. Then you have some leaders, they leave behind sprinkles. And with those sprinkles, as you know, when the wind blows, those sprinkles will just blow away as well. So that means that they left a legacy. They made a couple of changes, but nothing real notable. In these times, we need strong leaders that are able to forge ahead and leave a bridge that anybody can come across and they will be able to be successful, and that the legacy will be there and trailblaze individuals for years and years and years to come. So that's really important. You want to be able to be in the boardroom and to be able to have that to explode throughout throughout the hallways of the organization. So your legacy is something that is shared within not just the workplace, but within the community and the brand. So when you are creating this lasting legacy, you don't want to play it safe. Playing it safe is not a good thing, because if you have a uniform approach, that means you're just like everybody else. You're not making decisions, you're following the decisions that have already been made. And that doesn't help you stand out. In order to stand out, you have to have a bold approach to how you do combat certain issues. And with this bold approach, playing it safe is just not going to work. On the business battlefield, there is no safe space, because the landscape is forever changing. It's dynamic. You must be able to stand out and take a bold approach. You have to hire diverse, unique talent. You have to be careful about how you do onboard this talent. This serves on how you're going to be able to nurture your talent, not just for today, but for years and years and years to come. And you want to be able to provide training for your team. You want to be able to give them the tools that they need so that they can be successful, and that they can be able to build up their weaknesses into now the strengths that they did not even know that they had. You want to be able to have quarterly and annual events to show how you value the time and the commitment that your employees have invested within your organization. They could be anywhere, but they're there with you to do the vision and to share that vision that you have. Right now, we're in a unique time where now we have the availability to utilize talent, not just within our local communities, but anywhere, because now we're doing remote work. And within this remote work, we're onboarding individuals from multicultural to diverse teams. And within that being said, we have individuals now from the silent generation all the way down to Gen Z, and we're all on the same business landscape. And they don't teach you these tools in universities about how to work with some diverse cultures and dealing with the type of diversity that we have today. So it's really important that we learn the institutional knowledge from the silent generation and the baby boomers. We want to be able to capitalize and hallmark the institutional knowledge that they have. And then also too, we want to be able to take on the innovative tactics that Gen Zers are now being able to introduce into the playing field. So as a leader, it's important that we turn these groups of people into a well-oiled team. And it's a difference between a group of people compared to a team. And with this team that you are creating, this team, it's only going to be inevitable that you guys do take a loss. And when I mean a loss, that means some setbacks, some learning curves as you're synergizing your team. You're going to learn each other. You're going to be able to build off of each other's weaknesses and your strengths. So it's really important that leaders that you take notes from the loss so that you're able to learn from that and create those losses into wins. And that's the moment that you become agile, because that agility is what's going to be able to help you navigate through the business battlefield. If you're not really learning anything from your team's losses, that's the moment that you do become stale. So remember, everybody endures losses. It's just part of the nature of the beast. And think about it. Who's one of your favorite sports teams? Any of your favorite sports teams, they don't win every single game. They take a couple of losses, but within those losses, they're still able to win the World Cup, the championship, or even the Super Bowl. Those teams that won, they didn't have the perfect record, but they made the necessary adjustments so that they were able to become victorious in the end. So it's not how you start your leadership journey, it's ultimately how you finish. And that's the part that's going to be remembered the most. So these teams, they may have had a few games that they lost, but they were still able to win in the end. So as a leader, it's important that you elevate your team. You're going to have to cultivate them through these losses, taking the time out to have meaningful conversations. And just as I noted about the leader at the beginning of the story, he didn't come in saying, I'm the president or I'm the CEO. It's time that we drop these titles. You keep your C-level titles to the side and you start placing yourself as being a guide for your team, where you're actually being their friend, their mentor, so that you can serve them with where they are at and challenge them so that they do have a brighter idea of what they can and cannot do, so that they can be able to achieve that career advancement within the organization. It's not about giving orders or micromanaging your team. It's about noticing your team as individuals and noticing that maybe one of them is struggling. And through this struggle, support them during this time. Say, ask them what you can do to help. Maybe they need to get a little bit more guidance on how to use a new system that you did put in place. Or maybe they're struggling with their current role because they've outgrown that role and now they need to get a role towards where it's fitting the caliber of where they are right now, or just reclassifying their role completely so now it does highlight and align with their intrinsic goals or align with the skill set that they have, so that now they're really able to succeed. We need team members that are engaged. We need engaged employees. We need employees that are excited about coming to work, that they're proud for the company that they serve, and they look forward to retiring at this organization. A lot of times I hear that people are going to work, but not a lot of individuals are talking about retiring from the company that they're in right now. And that's a little bit scary. So we don't want people that are secretly looking for another job. We want them to be completely involved. We want them to be happy. And that's how you do reduce turnovers. And that's how you are able to yield productivity tenfold. And so today, right now, your only job as a leader is to future proof your organization. Take a closer look at your organization's vision statement. Is the vision still accurate? Does that vision still hold to be valid for right now and the times that we are currently in? Is the vision a little bit blurry? Is the vision just too dated? Like, this vision was something that we've already been able to meet, and we need to now look ahead. So look ahead at your vision statement and say, I'm the captain. And when you are the captain, you're navigating your team. You're navigating them through uncharted waters. You're navigating them through the storm, the fog, the murky waters. But no matter what, you're positioning them and navigating them towards the destination. And that destination, you have to bring them there safely. So, with that, with the vision, it's going to guide them towards the right place. And so it's amazing how a lot of leaders, they don't have that type of vision to navigate through the fog. They don't have that vision to navigate through the storms. So by them lacking that ability to see past these obstacles and these challenges, they do follow suit behind what other leaders are doing. They are aligning themselves with what the competition is doing. Like if they're doing it, then it must be the right thing to do. But if you fall behind what somebody else is doing, then you're never going to stand out as that bold leader that's really ready to take that risk. And sometimes that risk is something that you have to be able to take. But it's a good thing because I could tell that you have that vision. So take a closer look at the technology that you have in place. Look at your organization and say, will this technology be able to get us through the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? 9 times out of 10, it's not. So you need to think about the technology and the upgraded software that you will need to be able to put in place. And you have to think about it with the software that you are going to be using. If you are acquiring top talent, they do want to use the nice, shiny, state of the art technology. This way, they're able to stay to keep advancing their skills. And they want to be able to be the best. And when you are the best, that means you are using the best technology. You do have the best software that is in place. So remember, by being a bold leader, you must make these adjustments in order to stay ahead. And you want to be able to stay ahead of your competition. You want to be recognized as being an influencer and not being influenced. You want to make sure that your organization is the place to be modeled. You want to be modeled for having the best systems in place. You want for other people to look towards you to say, we want to be like them. We want to see how they're able to have this system in place. We want to see how we can get our community excited and ingrained within them. We want to be able to be looked at and service our clients the way that they're doing that. And when you do have a good system that's in place, this is something that potentially can be modeled around the world. As a leader, it's not about you. Yes, we all want things to be about us. Of course, it's just the nature of the beast. But in this role as a leader, it's not about you. It's about protecting your brand. It's about protecting your team. It's about protecting your community and ensuring that you guys have a bright future for your internal and external stakeholders. It's the art of being a bold leader by staying in the moment, but then strategizing for the future. So you really have to have that balance of being mindful of being in the moment, addressing your team, welcoming them, challenging them, asking them the right questions, giving them the tools that they do need to succeed, making sure that they're okay, and checking in to see if they notice any trends that might be popular that might be coming into play. We want to be able to have those conversations because then you, as a decision maker, you can have a forecast of what's coming up, and then you can have that agility to make those pivots on the battlefield, and you can strategize those executions while you're in the board meeting. But it's about being in the moment, but also to strategizing for the future. So when I say future proofing, that means looking at all angles so that you don't get caught off guard. Being a bold leader, it is about taking that double dare approach. It's not like I dare you, but I double dare you to double down on your organization's mission and then the vision. And then you are going to step away from the crowd. You're not going to be with the crowd because now you're taking that double dare approach where you're going to stand on your own and you're going to do something different. People talk about being that catalyst for change, but so few people really are that catalyst for change. And I think that's because individuals have a fear. They have a fear of doing something different. They have that self doubt where it's that inner voice critic telling them, "What are you doing? Is this really going to work out for you?" And then a lot of people, they don't want to be judged. They don't want to be judged because what if it doesn't work out? What if I'm doing the wrong thing? And they don't want to be judged by their team, by the community, or by even um, their competition. So one of the most important things that I tell people is go ahead, let them judge you because they might be judging you, but they will also be taking notes on how you avoided an obstacle that everyone else was hit by. And you had the sight and the courage to steer away from. Remember, you are the captain, and it's your job to ensure that your organization stays on course. And the course will always be on track because this is your legacy. This is your roadmap. This is something that you have left behind. Your legacy will be ongoing. Even though we may not be able to lead forever, your legacy will. This is not a snowflake or a sprinkle that soon will depart. This is something that is everlasting. So I want to challenge you today on how you can start to leave your legacy. Thank you.